Hello everyone, and welcome to the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture. I'm of course your host, TJ West. So, since I did a book review yesterday, I thought I would switch things up a bit today and talk about, of course, my book, which is soon to come out, Country Road Romance. But not about the book specifically, although I have many more things I want to talk about when it comes to the book itself and what I intend to do with it. It is out in just a couple of days, so, Country Road Romance, check it out on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. But I want to talk a little bit about probably one of the most pressing issues of the day for those of us in the writing and other creative professions. And I'm talking, of course, about AI, and in particular generative AI, such as ChatGPT and all of its various offshoots. Now, I know a lot of people, not a lot, but I know some people use it for various capacities, whether they use it to as a sort of informal writing assistant, whether they actually use it to write books or whatever. But I want to make things too clear. One, that I'm opposed to it for a whole host of reasons, both ethically and also environmentally. We all know that it exploits copyrighted material, and it does so without recompense to the authors. The other, of course, is the enormous environmental impact that generative AI has, in the way that it sort of sucks up energy. And, frankly, I just don't think that anyone can ethically use that kind of technology, and I just don't want to do it. Secondly, and I think, more germanely to what I'm talking about in terms of my own creative impulses, is that I make the vow that I will never use ChatGPT or its offshoots, whether it be for book covers or for character illustrations or let alone for the writing of the book itself. That's just not what I'm in the business to write. Now, I want to explain so it doesn't just seem as if I'm one of those cranks who's, well, if you don't use it, you'll get left behind, all that stuff, whatever. That's, I think, lazy arguments, but, it's kind of mistaking a premise for a conclusion, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why I, as a creator, as a queer Appalachian creator, do not want to offshore all of this to computers. And the reason is because, as I've spoken about here on the Pisces Guide, as I've written at my newsletter Omnivorous, as I will talk about at any time that I get the chance, I'm writing these stories from my heart. Even if the characters aren't about me or they don't have aspects of me, they are about a region that I know very dearly, very, very well, and it's very dear to my heart. And my experience is as a queer Appalachian and rural person are not going to be the same as another's. They do shape who I am as a person, who I am as a writer, who I am as a creator, and I enjoy the process of excavating that stuff, of digging deep into my soul and bringing that out into the form of writing. And I just don't think that they could offshore that to a computer. No, I know I could not offshore that to a computer and get the result that I want. When I write, whether I'm writing by hand, which I still do for journaling, or whether I write on the computer, which is where I do most of my composing for the books that I've been working on, there is I don't know how else to put it except to say that there's a sort of spiritual connection between myself, the keyboard, and the screen. When I put my fingers on the keys and I feel them, the pressure that goes down, and I know that I'm transmuting my ideas and, the character work and the plots that I'm doing between me, the keyboard, and the screen. And then I know at another level that I'm going to be communicating with readers, both those in Appalachia for whom this book is written. It is my love letter to Appalachia, to West Virginia, to the queers that live there, but also to anyone else who, from a rural area, or even anyone else who just wants to read about queer folk finding love and, and sort of fulfillment in a world where that's increasingly not unlikely, but difficult given the environment that we all live in. And for me, it's all just very emotionally intimate. There's an intimacy between myself and what I'm creating and what my readers that I don't want to sacrifice by making something else do it. And that's true even when it comes, I've been hearing a lot that, AI is like a writing assistant. It can help you identify stuff. You know who else does that? Beta readers and editors and your friends and lived people. When we sacrifice our creative impulses and give all of that to a machine to do it for us, we're giving up what makes us human and why we are intended to do things. My partner once said that we as humans are meant to do and to make things. And I think that was really smart, because I think for me, as a writer, the power and the pleasure comes from not just the finished product, but the process. It's the process of writing that's the joy, of knowing that you're creating something that will communicate and like engage with others. And I don't think there is just no conceivable way that a computer or a software program like ChatGPT could replicate that. It just can't. Now, whether you do it on your own is your own moral, ethical calculus. That is not something I can control. I can't control how much AI takes over our lives or how much it sort of intrudes on every aspect of the writing process. I can only speak from personal experience. That as a queer Appalachian writer who grew up in the right before the internet and computer age, I have a love of the written word and of me doing the work to write the word and the people that I'm communicating with, knowing that I am the one who wrote it, that it wasn't offshore to someone else. And so those are just some of the reasons that I think it's particularly important for me as an individual creator, writer, artistic person, not to sacrifice the things that I take pleasure in. I mean, the thing is I enjoy writing. I enjoy creating characters. I enjoy excavating Appalachia and all the other things that I look at in my fiction, in my film reviews, my movie reviews, even TV reviews, even my listicles. Like, there's just something really powerful about making things. Just as, people who work in guilds and crafts or, in the trades will speak of the honor and the dignity that comes with work and labor and, creating objects in the real world. I think that we as writers should be okay and comfortable with talking about why the dignity of creation. Like, we are dignified creators too. And when we give that up, we give up a really essential piece of who we are as people, as humans, as artists. And so for me, I'm just not willing to make that sacrifice. So I give you my word here at the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture, and as a writer of queer Appalachian romance and romantasy and other genres that I may work in the future, that I am not going to use these technologies because, frankly, I just want to do the work. I want to feel the satisfaction and the fulfillment that comes of doing the actual labor itself. So, anyway, that is why when you read Country Road Romance, you will know that it came from me and from my heart and from my soul. And the same is true of Love, Lies, and Coal Dust, the third volume, and every other subsequent book, whether it be romance, romantasy, fantasy, sci-fi, nonfiction, fiction, it doesn't matter. I will write from my heart and soul, and I hope that you know that, and that is my vow that I make here at the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture, and you can hold me to it. So, that is all for today as far as rantings go. I just need to get that off my chest. It's a key part of writing. It's one of the things that we as writers and professionals are engaging with. So that's just my take on it. Do with it what you will. So thanks as always for joining the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture. I'm, of course, your host, TJ. Remember, Country Road Romance is on sale starting on the 1st of June, but you can pre-order it on the ebook at Amazon. You can also pre-order all the other paperback versions from all of your favorite book retailers. So please don't hesitate to do so. It means the world to me. So anyway, thanks you all for joining me as always. Take care, y'all.